What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. It is Saturday, July 20th, 2019. This is episode 283, part number 2 of Off the Script. Got a lot to go over today, man. Coming into this weekend, it looked like I did not have enough for what I want to do with this podcast this weekend, but it ended up being a very news-filled weekend. There's a lot of news surrounding SmackDown Live and their move to Fox. A lot of news on Eric Bischoff and where he's going to realistically fit in. I got a lot of news coming out of Monday Night Raw this past Monday. We got a lot of news on Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt with his return to Monday Night Raw under his new persona of The Fiend. What does it really mean? Are we going to see the Demon King? What was the internal WWE reaction from management on Bray Wyatt's return to the company? How WWE is planning big merchandise pushes for the Firefly Funhouse and Bray Wyatt's new character. We're going to go over all of that right here at the top of the podcast. And Seth Rollins, man, I don't understand how illogical one person could be. We think Monday Night Raw is illogical on a weekly basis on Monday night. Rollins wants to be the figurehead of this company. Rollins was the Universal Champion. Rollins claims that WWE has the best wrestling on the planet. Rollins claims that he is the very best in the world, that nobody can touch him on the level he is at right now, which is false. He wants to be a company man so much that he is making himself look worse and worse with every interview that he takes part in. And I can't wait to tell you what this goon had to say. First of all, he compared the WWE to the New York Yankees. Why does everybody hate the WWE? And then he goes on to compare WWE to the New York Yankees. Then he claims that you and I, the social media goons, the critics, are jealous of him because he's dating Becky Lynch. Bro, I don't know if you are aware, but Becky Lynch ain't no Toni Storm. That's all I gotta say about that. We'll go over that when we get to that. Plus major spoilers, possible spoilers. Take everything with a grain of salt. Major spoiler possibly for the main event of SummerSlam between Rollins and Brock Lesnar. All this wrapped up into one big ball right here on Off the Script, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you are new around here, please hit that subscribe button down below. You're going to see it right down there. It's going to be staring at you. Hit the subscribe button. And while you do that, turn on that bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys notify yourselves of all my uploads. We upload weekly and daily right here on the podcast. Make sure you guys follow me on social media as well. At JD from NY206. That's both on Twitter and Instagram. I really appreciate it. And if the bell is not working and you follow me on Twitter, you guys will automatically be notified of when I go live with a new video. So Twitter is very imperative, man. Thank you guys so very much for that. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. What's up to all my patrons out there? You guys got early access of Off the Script last night where we talked about Kevin Owens, bro. Kevin Owens ain't no Bret Hart, bro. He ain't Dwayne The Rock Johnson, bro. We talked about Kevin Owens. WWE is allowing Kevin Owens to be like a Dwayne Johnson and a Stone Cold Steve Austin, who is not scripted. Kevin Owens is fortunate to be one of the ones that gets bullet points, and he goes out there with a live microphone and is cutting unscripted promos. We talked about that on Off the Script on part 1. You guys got that early, so I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Off the Script yesterday went over Kevin Owens' unscripted promos, and we went over how Paul Heyman wants realism in the WWE. He wants realism back on Monday Night's Raw, and how Fox is pushing for WWE to not be called sports entertainment anymore, but simply sports. All of this now coming to be in the WWE because of 3 little letters, folks. AEW. I don't want to hear it from anybody else. Go check that out. It's live on the channel. Plus Raw, SmackDown, and full NXT coverage of all 3 shows right there on the channel. Link you'll see in the top right corner. That little I, it's a little annotation box. Drop it down. Everything you need will be right there. Make sure you guys check out my fine friends over at Harry's. Harry's.com/scripts. I've been with Harry's for 2 years. They've been sponsoring Off the Script for over 2 years, man. And when I needed new and just fulfilling shaving needs, Harry's was there, and they gifted me the best shave of my entire life, man. Believe it or not, I found out about Harry's through my dad and my brother. I went into the medicine cabinet up in my dad's bathroom, and I'm like, what is this? This is new. I never heard of it before. So he told me about it. He said, I got it at Target. My mom bought my dad Harry's at Target. And when you go to Target now, you're going to see a whole Harry's boutique, man. It's beautiful. That's where I found out about Harry's, and now I want you guys to know about Harry's as well. Harry's.com/script. That is our unique link for you guys to get a $13 value trial set, and it is absolutely amazing. Now, Harry's was founded by two regular guys who were tired of getting ripped off and paying for overpriced gimmicks, vibrating heads, flex balls, handles that look like spaceships, some cheesy shit out of a sci-fi movie. These are just some of the tactics that the leading brands have used to overcharge us for years. Harry's makes quality, durable blades at a fair price, folks. Again, quality, $2 per blade. That is unbelievable. They cut out the middleman. Harry's bought a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making quality blades for 99 years. Now they can provide you great quality at factory direct prices and a 100% guarantee. If you don't love your shave, folks, let them know and they will give you a full refund. JD, this sounds great. If I go to harrys.com/script, what exactly am I going to get? Well, you're going to get a razor handle, first off, and it's going to come in the choice of color that you want, orange, navy blue, or the evergreen. 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade for a close, comfortable shave. Rich lathering shave gel that will leave you smelling great. And believe me, not only will it leave you smelling great, once you apply it on your face, it's going to leave a tingling sensation that you're going to be like, refreshing. Love it. And a travel blade cover if you're a man on the go to keep your razor dry. And again, it's perfect for a guy who is traveling on work for business, or if you're just spending time over your girlfriend's house and you guys got plans on Saturday night and you want to look good. It's easy on the go for you with that travel blade cover. Listeners of my show can redeem their trial set at harrys.com/script. Guys, once again, that's harrys.com/script. Let them know that you found out about Harry's right here on Off the Script. Now, we all know what the best part of Monday Night Raw this past Monday was. And if you said, JD, I didn't watch the show, that was the best part of Monday Night Raw. You, sir, deserve a cookie. You are correct. Now, granted, if you did watch the show like I did, unfortunately, the best part of the show, no question, was the debut of The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. And I'm glad that he is finally in front of a live television audience. That audience on Monday night gave the reaction that I wanted them to give. I was hoping that they would give. We finally got Bray Wyatt in front of a live TV audience. He got the reaction that I wanted. We now know what type of reaction he's going to get from a live TV audience. This was a success. Now, I did go on record saying that I did like it. I thought it was great, but that primarily comes from the fact that we haven't seen Bray Wyatt in so long. It was great to see him dressed up in the full Fiend character, and he has been missed. He has severely been missed on WWE television. Do I like the booking of Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam? I don't. I think it's lazy, and I honestly think WWE, simply by having Bray Wyatt do his sister Abigail, it was probably the most uncreative direction that they could possibly come up with. It was sheer laziness. I expected a bigger impact for Bray Wyatt. I didn't want them to go to the only other character outside of The Undertaker who is similar to what Bray Wyatt is doing right now with The Fiend. Because Finn Balor has the Demon King. I didn't want them to do that because that is the easy way out creatively. I can picture them in the boardrooms. How do we book Bray Wyatt? Why don't we put him against the Demon King? The Demon King versus the Fiend. Great! Let's do it. Let's plan it. That really doesn't take all that much skill. Doesn't take that much creativity to come up with something so simple. They could have made it a little bit dastardly. They could have made it a little bit more evil and creepy and eerie. Well, why did we have to see a Sister Abigail and that was it? What if Bray Wyatt did something else that was non-PG? What if he beat him up so bad and dragged his carcass up the ramp and we got just this maniacal, demonic Bray Wyatt? Really channeling that inner fiend that is Bray Wyatt. I guess the picture of the Sister Abigail, or the vision, I should say, of Sister Abigail was kind of boring. It was kind of boring. But, there was news coming out in the week before Monday Night Raw that Finn Balor was going on hiatus. He was going to take a month. It's been reported by Ryan Satin, 2 months hiatus. Don't know what the real status of Finn Balor is right now and his match with Bray Wyatt. But I anticipate that it is happening at SummerSlam. I think Finn Balor is going to take a hiatus. And this was the start of him possibly being written off television. What does WWE have to do with Bray Wyatt going forward? I mentioned that he needs to be an unstoppable force on their television like Kane was when he first debuted in WWE. I miss Bray Wyatt. Someone with that type of character, someone with that type of creativity. You cannot suppress that type of character on television. You cannot suppress the man behind Bray Wyatt and his creativity. You know, the day and age for wrestling has changed. In 2019, a lot of people look at Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole, guys like that who are just 5-star classics ready to happen at any given moment. Some people don't like that. Some people get turned off by, oh, it's just gymnastics. Oh, it's nothing but flips and dives. Kenny Omega does 17 V-triggers in one match. Some people get turned off by that, and rightfully so. Some people don't like that, and I'm not going to argue with those people. You like what you like. Other people like what they like. I, for one, like a Johnny Gargano match, and there's a reason why he is the best thing in WWE when he's in that ring. Because he is everything that is pro wrestling to me. He is. And I don't mean that to be sucking the guy's dick, but he is. Babyface through and through. He is one of those guys that you can relate to, and he sells his ass off. Everything that is done to him, he makes you believe that he is going to die, pass out. He's not going to be able to do it. That's why I like Johnny Gargano so much. Some people don't like those wrestlers that I named. Some people like more of a character-driven, persona in WWE. And Bray Wyatt is that guy that we want to invest our time in. They went about everything with Bray Wyatt differently compared to everybody else under this new start. It's unbelievable how 2 months of video packages and the Firefly Funhouse has gotten him over to a point where now that he makes his debut on television, everybody's excited to see what he's going to do next. It does work. WWE has not done that with anybody in a very long time, and I feel like if they do that with the next in line, that is going to result in the same thing. People are going to be excited, and the emotional investment in that character is already going to be there before that bell even rings for their first match. Yes, people like 5-star classics, but Bray Wyatt is going to be the figurehead of change. I feel like WWE needs to integrate and inject not all of their programming, but some of their programming with characters that are like a Bray Wyatt. We want to see characters. We don't want to see the real life guy that you can take off the street and just put in a wrestling ring and he gives me a 5-star classic. That's great. I appreciate that. I would love if I had the ability to do that myself. I really would. But there's no persona there. Who is that person? And that's why those people are turned off by the Meltzer 7-star classics. Who is that person? What does he bring to the table outside of, oh, he's a great wrestler? Anybody could be a great wrestler. Who are you? And why should I care? So Bray Wyatt is that guy that right now I feel is going to steer WWE not in the direction of full character 100%. They're going to give you a little bit of everything, but We desperately do need guys on the roster like Bray Wyatt with that character to just grab the audience's attention and have them be invested in what he's trying to tell with his creativity. I love it. I think it's great. Now, as far as Bray Wyatt and his return to Monday Night Raw, the internal reaction to Bray Wyatt on Raw was very good. It was a nice start, says Brad Shepard. Company put a lot of effort into his new character, but the reaction he received on Monday has to be taken as a good sign. He says, and I quote, a source in WWE on Bray's return in front of the live audience, they said, we have a lot riding on him being successful, and it was a nice start, end quote. So it looks like after Monday, we're getting Balor and Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. Was I completely pleased with the direction of Bray Wyatt's return to WWE? No, I was not. I ended up being okay with it because of the news surrounding Finn Balor. But I feel as far as a creativity standpoint with Bray Wyatt coming back to Monday Night Raw, I feel like WWE kind of took the easy way out and booked him with Finn Balor because they didn't know what else to do. And they really went to find somebody that mirrors Bray Wyatt, and they found that in Finn Balor. I could picture the creative meetings. Bray Wyatt's coming back. We got to get The Fiend on TV. Who do we put him up against? Can't be The Undertaker. So they went with somebody who is almost identical to The Fiend when he is in his other persona. They went with somebody else on the roster who has a split personality. Finn Balor the man, and then you got Finn Balor the demon. It's the easy way out. There's no creativity in that. And any one of these social media cretins could have come up with that, and I'm sure that they did. Everybody and their mother came up with this concept or this fantasy match for SummerSlam. Bray Wyatt comes back at SummerSlam, we'll put him against the Demon King. There's no creativity there. There's no imagination there. Sister Abigail and the vision of Sister Abigail was something that's left a lot to be desired. I feel like it was no creativity. There was nothing behind that jumped out at me to be fully excited. I'm not excited for the feud. I'm excited to see Bray on television. That's what I was excited about. Everything else you got to make me excited about. Now, seeing Sister Abigail like we seen Sister Abigail a year ago when Bray Wyatt was a loser on WWE TV did nothing for me. It did nothing for me. It's the visual of Bray with the lighting and the sound effects and the creepy music and his laugh and the crowd reaction that really sucked me in. They could have went about this a different way. They could have went about this in a completely non-PG way. Because Bray Wyatt has that blue collar, I'm good, I am who I am on the Firefly Funhouse. And then when he has his split personality in The Fiend, that's when you really start to have fun with that type of gimmick. Why couldn't we see no attack, lights go out, and all of a sudden you see Bray Wyatt, with a spotlight in the arena. The entire arena is blacked out. A spotlight on Bray Wyatt, and he's dragging Finn Balor up the ramp, and then you see him disappear. That's it. That's all we needed to see. I don't know why WWE went with, let's put him against Finn Balor. Finn Balor's got the Demon King. We'll do Sister Abigail. He'll stand there and pose, and that's it. I don't know how anybody could be excited about what's to come. No creativity in that segment, though it was great to see Bray Wyatt. And we're getting a match that we already got in the past. How creative is that? And if SummerSlam gives us Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, it's going to be a rematch. Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar is a rematch. Right? How many other matches on that card are going to be rematches? Why are they going to book rematches with everybody that we've seen in previous months for SummerSlam? Cesaro and Aleister Black, I heard, is being rumored for SummerSlam. Why? This is supposed to be a fresh start. And we're getting rematches after rematches after rematches in WWE. I don't understand it. And I really don't like it. And I don't want to complain. But with the amount of talent that WWE has, they should have given us, for SummerSlam, something that is different. SummerSlam hasn't felt like SummerSlam in a very long time. You know, I always hold the 2002 SummerSlam as the greatest SummerSlam that there ever was. That pay-per-view was amazing. Unbelievable. I want to feel like that when I watch SummerSlam. The last 5 years, 4 years being in New York, which was dreadful, no SummerSlam show stuck out to me. I could barely mention anything as far as what type of matches I seen there. The only thing that sticks out to me is Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, or Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. That's it. There's nothing memorable that happened at those SummerSlams. Nothing. And it's going to be the same thing here for 2019. WWE is using SummerSlam to barely put on a card of any interest, and they're booking this around the idea that, oh, it's SummerSlam. People are going to come out because it's the second biggest show of the year. It's not the way you do things. If it's the second biggest show of the year, you book it like the second biggest show of the year. And they have not done that, and by the rumored card that I'm looking at, I don't think they are going to do that. But moving away from that, that's a completely different subject that I'm sure we'll tackle when we get closer to SummerSlam. The reaction to Bray Wyatt was good. Now I just need them to be creative with Bray Wyatt. They certainly are being creative with Bray Wyatt with the merchandise. I think they released a new shirt with his Fiend mask on it, all black, and it's in red and white, I think, and I seen a picture of it. Not sure really about the color scheme, but it's got Bray's Fiend face, and it says Yowie Wowie. That's something I would buy. Just because I, for one, appreciate what Bray Wyatt is doing, and I appreciate a man of that caliber with his talent and his creativity. That's something that I would support. I don't really buy WWE merchandise. The only WWE merchandise that I have is Ciampa and Gargano. That is it. I don't buy WWE licensed gear. Anything that I got as far as licensed gear either was me buying NXT t-shirts or I got them in crates when I was sponsored by Loot Crate. That was it. I got an AJ Styles licensed Loot Crate shirt with the WWE logo on it, and I got an Elias shirt that I never wear. WWE is planning big merchandise behind Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse. Brad Shepard in the same report about the nice start that he had on Monday Night Raw. Internally, Bray's masks for WWE Shop are already in the works, and Brad Shepard is hearing they could be released in September. That is fantastic. I'd buy a fucking mask as well. I really would. And that is great marketing. Do you know if that character catches fire and you put those masks, how expensive they're going to be? I don't know. They could be replica masks. They're not going to be the exact mask that Bray had made in a movie studio for himself. They could be replica masks. But imagine how much money WWE can make if they release them in September. How many of those kids who love the new Bray Wyatt character, not even kids, adults, who are going to go out with their kids dressed as Bray Wyatt the Fiend? That's a simple, easy way to make money. That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. On top of that, you just can't sell masks. You got to give me some merchandise that I could go out there, find interesting, and, you know, that looks good, that I would love to wear out in public. Now, this September, for the masks, and it's going to be a highly sought after mask, and a ton of people are going to be dressed up as Bray, in my opinion, for Halloween, and that's going to be great. That's just an easy way to make money. Hopefully WWE realizes what kind of money is in the Bray Wyatt character. They could even do something along the lines of the puppets. I wouldn't say life-size puppets of what you see on the Firefly Funhouse, but maybe little replica dolls. There's a lot of people out there that love to collect shit. I think that would be great. So WWE is definitely planning a big merchandise push behind Bray Wyatt and the whole Firefly Funhouse theme. Now, as far as Bray Wyatt, we're talking about Bray Wyatt. What about Finn Balor? The attack on Finn Balor could have been a way for WWE to write him off of television. Now, there was a report by Ryan Satin that Finn Balor is taking a break from WWE. He mentioned 2 months. I don't know when that's going to happen. I would presume it's going to happen after SummerSlam. The company has already granted this vacation, and it was said that Balor will be gone for 2 months. It was also reported that Balor will be sticking around until August, and he is going to be at SummerSlam. Now, there were reports saying that that was not true. It is absolutely true. because WWE on Thursday afternoon announced a new Smackville network special on July 27th from Nashville, Tennessee at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't know how long the event is going to be, but they listed 2 matches and a special appearance by Elias. Who cares? Kofi Kingston, Samoa Joe, and Dolph Ziggler for the WWE title, and Finn Balor in another match, a rematch with Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. So, Balor might be written off TV between now and then. It is the 20th. They got this happening on the 27th. That's Saturday, I believe. 27th or 29th. I don't know. Whatever. The end of the month, Smackville. So Balor's going to have a week off. Probably going to sell the attacks because it kind of correlates with what I talked about yesterday with Paul Heyman wanting realism. Paul Heyman wanting consequences for certain actions. Bray Wyatt was on Monday Night Raw and he beat the shit. Now, it was with the lights off. He beat up Finn Balor. So that doesn't mean Finn Balor comes out all smiles and does his entrance on Monday night. You sell the attack. You give me a reason to watch Monday Night Raw, to see Bray Wyatt, hopefully, and not see Finn Balor. I don't want to hear from Finn Balor. I want Finn Balor to sell the attack to make Bray Wyatt look that much more intimidating and demonic. That's what I want. So maybe that correlates with what we reported yesterday on Off the Script. He will be at SummerSlam. Because if he's going to be at Smackville, there's no reason why he's going to take a hiatus and miss SummerSlam, which is probably the third biggest payday. WrestleMania, Saudi Arabia are ahead of SummerSlam. SummerSlam's going to be the third biggest payday for all active performers on that SummerSlam card. Why would you miss out on a payday? So Finn Balor will be at SummerSlam. He will be in a match with Bray Wyatt. PW Insider is reporting that Finn Balor has already flown home to Ireland. Looks like his break from WWE is starting. They're giving him a little recharge, I guess. So Wyatt's attack could, right now, in the short term, write him off of television until they get him back on television to really complete the overall story they're trying to tell with the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Now, why is Finn Balor taking 2 months off after SummerSlam? Well, it could be a simple case that he's tired, that the road has worn him down. He could legitimately be injured. Or it could be this. Finn Balor apparently is officially engaged to be married. Balor has a relationship with Fox Sports Mexico, Vero Rodriguez. She is, for Fox Sports Mexico, she is a wrestling journalist down in Mexico. She has covered many stories in the WWE down for Fox Sports in Mexico. Now, it's being reported that the couple is engaged. Rodriguez was sporting a ring on her engagement finger. This came weeks after Balor drunkenly admitted to being the luckiest guy in the world while live on camera as his now fiance tried to interview him. I didn't see that interview, but I heard about it, and it's funny just to say Balor was drunk and admitted that he was the luckiest guy in the world to his fiance while she was conducting an interview with him. Now, the report of their engagement has been confirmed by several sources. It's just always good to hear someone is, like Balor, not hurt. I didn't want him to be hurt. I know a lot of people were reporting or maybe speculating that after Money in the Bank, he took that nasty fall on the ladder from Andrade several different times. One from Andrade and then one, I think he got slammed back first on the ladder really, really bad. I think it was by Baron Corbin. It was a bad night for Finn Balor. I'm sure he was completely fucked up at Money in the Bank. So I'm glad to know that it's not an injury-related thing. Wrestling Observer confirmed that Balor and Veronica Rodriguez are engaged. So Meltzer also confirmed this as well. Vero is a big WWE fan, and she is right now with Finn Balor. So it's a bigger reason for her to stay up to date on the product as well. Obviously, it's her job to do so. So there you go. This could be one of those determining factors as to why Finn Balor is taking a hiatus from WWE. Maybe he is going to get married in the time that he has off and wanted the time off to not only recharge his batteries, but be with his fiance. So we don't know about that. We don't know when they got engaged, how long they've been engaged. But if it's recent, I can't imagine that they're going to be rushing right to marriage. So we really don't know, but this could be a reason why Balor is going to be given that 2 months off from WWE. So like I mentioned, Smackville, he's going to be off. Probably not going to be on Monday Night Raw. He will be at Smackville. I hope he's not at Monday Night Raw. Going to be at Smackville, and then he will be at SummerSlam because SummerSlam is happening just, I would say, a week and some days later. So there you go. But Balor and Demon King, SummerSlam. People are already speculating that this is going to be the case for the Bray Wyatt match at SummerSlam. Now, with Bray Wyatt appearing out of nowhere on Monday Night Raw, a lot of people are under this impression that we're getting The Fiend versus the Demon. Now, Brad Shepard is reporting that this is not the plan at all for Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. He says, and I quote, "I'm told the current plan for Finn Balor is to not portray the Demon character when he loses to Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam." End quote. It's interesting to see how WWE is pairing Balor and Wyatt up again, and this time not include the Demon King. I don't understand that. So the only thing here for me is two things. One, if this is not the Demon King versus the Fiend, then this is absolutely 100% a squash match. Finn Balor cannot go into this thing with Bray Wyatt and get any offense in. This is an absolute decimation of Finn Balor's character, almost as if it's a reset for the Finn Balor character. You want to write him off TV, he's going to be gone for 2 months, then you book that match to correlate with him being gone for 2 months. And you come up with some storyline injury. The other thing is, I don't understand why we went with Finn Balor in the first place if you really weren't going to do the Demon King. There could have been another more gratifying way to debut Bray Wyatt, because if he wasn't going to be paired with the Demon, then why did you pair him with Finn Balor at all? I just find it very hard to believe that there wasn't any other creative ideas for this man to return to TV outside of Finn Balor. I don't understand it. It's going to be a squash match. It has to be a squash match. Finn Balor, the man, should in no way, shape, or form get any offense in on Bray Wyatt and his new character. That's what that means to me. So if he's not showing up as the Demon King, the man Finn Balor needs to get his ass kicked so badly that we don't hear about him at all. Now, what happens when Finn Balor returns to the WWE after his 2-month hiatus? I don't know. But there are reports, and we've talked about it. We've talked about it several times. Other people have mentioned it. AJ Styles just got the club together again. So it's Styles, Gallows, and Anderson. They are once again reunited. WWE could be looking at adding Finn Balor to the club with AJ Styles. Brad Shepard is reporting that Finn Balor dropping his title to Shinsuke Nakamura was a Paul Heyman move. Obviously, Paul Heyman is the new executive director of Monday Night Raw. This was reportedly done because WWE is putting Balor in the position where he can rejoin with some old friends once again. Brad Shepard says this, and I quote, "I'm told Finn losing was a Paul Heyman's call. The idea is having him eventually join Styles, Gallows, and Anderson and join the club." End quote. Brad Shepard continued as he reported that at least AJ Styles and the Good Brothers will receive a much more serious booking direction this time around. According to a source in WWE, the club will be a far cry from the bumbling villains who constantly come up short as they have in the past. They will dominate. End quote. Well, clearly that has not happened yet, as WWE booked both of them to lose to Ricochet a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. That's not really what you do with two guys who just signed new 5-year deals. Ridiculous. And they booked that match, and it came about in the worst way possible. It was so ridiculous. So ridiculous. AJ, weeks before, called them both losers. So then Carl Anderson challenges Ricochet. Gallows challenges Ricochet, and they both lose. While AJ is looking on in their corner, watching them both lose. Why would you have a team in the club, in both Gallows and Anderson, who should be an elite team in your company? Definitely should have been at least multi-time tag team champions at this point. An elite team, you just signed to a 5-year deal, and the first thing that you do after signing to a 5-year deal is booking them both to lose to look just like they were before they signed those contracts. Losers. And AJ looked on and did nothing about it. This is the lack of creativity in WWE that exists. They couldn't book a DQ in that first match with Ricochet and then have AJ on the outside. Well, listen, I'm sorry that my guy got involved and caused the DQ. I'm going to promise you that that won't happen again. And I want you to go one-on-one with Gallows now to show me what you're made of. And I promise none of us are going to get involved. Our hands are going to be clean in this one. And then that's when the post-match attack happens. So he watches both Gallows and Anderson lose, and then the post-match attack comes. Why did you have to watch both of you guys lose to get the post-match attack after the match? This is what I'm talking about with logic, folks. WWE is not in a position to make anyone look good. Anyone look good. And I got some breaking news of my own right here. Gallows and Anderson, we know, signed 5-year deals to stay with the WWE. My source, I have sources. Please don't tell me that I don't, because I do. I have people in the know. And I believe my source. My source tells me that WWE, most notably Vince McMahon, did not want to sign Gallows and Anderson. He was going to let them walk. Wherever they were going to walk to, you can only make your assumption of AEW. They were going to walk right to AEW. Vince did not want to sign Gallows and Anderson because he found no value in them. AJ Styles reportedly signed a new deal with the WWE. He did not sign a new deal with the WWE. He wanted Vince McMahon to sign Gallows and Anderson to 5-year deals, and AJ was not going to sign with the WWE, or I should say, he was not going to re-sign with the WWE until Gallows and Anderson signed and were offered new contracts with more money. Then, when they signed officially and their names were on the dotted line, AJ signed his 5-year deal, and he wanted the club back together. This was an ultimatum from AJ Styles because he knew that the WWE completely messed up the booking of all 3 of these guys being collectively together. Whether that includes Finn Balor, I don't know. I don't know if AJ made a pitch for Finn Balor to be in the club as well, but I'm assuming that's going to be part of Paul Heyman's initiative, being that Brad Shepard is reporting that Paul Heyman and his decision to take the title off Finn Balor and put it on Nakamura, like I said, was his idea. That was his plan of action. So there's your breaking news. AJ Styles signed a new deal with the WWE and used leverage against Vince McMahon to get his boys more money and the club reunited on television. That's when he signed the dotted line, which I completely believe. Because why would AJ is a quality individual. You can sense that just by meeting him, going to a meet and greet. He is genuine. One of the nicest guys that I personally have met in this wrestling thing. Very humble, and I thought he was awesome. I could see that. And he's a family man. Nobody is a bigger family man than AJ Styles. I mean, the guy said it himself. He wants to set his family up so that they can live the rest of their lives happy and stress-free. He's doing this for them. That's on record. So why wouldn't he do the same thing for his friends? So I could absolutely 100% believe that to be the case. He wanted his friends to be taken care of first, and then he used them as ultimatums. He used them as an ultimatum for Vince McMahon. You sign my guys first, and you book them the way that they should be booked, then I'm going to sign. Vince didn't want to lose all 3. He would have been okay with losing Gallows and Anderson, but he thought he could keep AJ. And if he didn't get AJ, then you know where they would have went. And Vince didn't want that. So I don't know, like I said, if this includes Finn Balor, but there you go. There you go. You learned something new today on Off the Script. Now, the bumbling villains part, WWE hasn't shown me anything differently. If they add Finn Balor, I mentioned a feud with the Undisputed Era. AJ was even teasing. I think the Undisputed Era was also teasing something happening. We don't know if that's the case. In fact, I don't really want the Undisputed Era on Monday Night Raw because God knows what Vince McMahon is going to do with all 4 of those guys. But the club, as a threesome, the only other threesome that we could see feud with the club is the New Day. If they don't add Finn Balor, which I don't see why they would not. If Finn Balor goes on a losing streak and he comes back and he is welcomed into the club and they could promise him to get him back right on track where he belongs, I could see that playing into the overall storyline here. Finn Balor is going to go on a losing streak. He got beat up by Bray Wyatt. He lost to Samoa Joe in about 2 minutes. He lost the IC title. Probably going to lose at SummerSlam to Bray Wyatt. So he's going to go on a losing streak. He's going to be one of those guys that is down on himself, and the club is going to be there to pick him up. AJ picked up the club. He picked up Gallows and Anderson. Hopefully guides them to better heights, newer heights in WWE. He's going to do the same for Finn Balor. I would love to see it. Undisputed Era, the club at Survivor Series, I think it writes itself. And if they don't add Finn Balor, then you got a club and New Day confrontation that I'm sure would still be great, but I think everybody's over the New Day right now, and I think everybody right now just wants the title off of Kofi Kingston. That's the kind of general consensus I'm getting from the community right now going into SummerSlam with the rumored match. Again, a rematch. Might have been years ago, but it's still a rematch. What is old is new to WWE. So on top of all the rematches that we're getting Randy Orton probably against Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship, which makes sense because I'm sure Vince McMahon looks at Randy Orton as somebody who is a notable name. He's a likable guy, and he's a company man, and he wants that type of guy going into SmackDown Live on Fox as the WWE Champion. So there you go. We got much more coming up, guys. I got to shout out my good friends over at The Ridge. Remember them for Father's Day? Well, I have great news, man. I am back once again for the next 2 months with The Ridge. I want you guys to check out The Ridge at ridge.com/script. You guys can use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. I gotta tell you guys this one story, man. I was in Atlantic City, and I was on the Atlantic City Boardwalk at the Beer Garden right outside Tropicana. Sat down, I wanted a nice cold beverage and a Bavarian pretzel with homemade beer cheese and homemade spicy mustard. Sounds pretty damn good, I know. I looked over to my left, and these two guys sat down next to me. I did not engage in conversation, but I looked over as they ordered their beer, and the man pulled out not a wallet, but he had his credit card and his ID together with a paperclip. A paperclip, folks. He didn't even have a wallet. Now, meanwhile, I'm sitting down having my ice-cold beverage and my Bavarian pretzel with beer cheese and spicy mustard, and I have all my IDs and credit cards in my Ridge wallet. Not only did I look at him like he was crazy, but I looked at him and wondered why he didn't have a Ridge wallet. That's unsafe, and it's pretty unattractive if you ask me. Now, the Ridge makes everyday goods to a standard you don't see every day. They help you streamline your life by turning things around that you carry, like backpacks, chargers, wallets, into tools for better living. Their flagship product, the Ridge Wallet, was launched on Kickstarter in 2013 and now sits in the front pockets of over 500,000 men and women, including myself. The Ridge is a minimal front pocket wallet that's designed to streamline what you carry every single day. And folks, it is so great. It's got over 30,000 5-star reviews, and it is a better way to carry your cash and your cards. There's a lifetime warranty if you love it, and free returns if you do not. And I'm guaranteeing you right now that you will. It comes in titanium. I have the Sunburst titanium. Carbon fiber, aluminum, and over a dozen different styles and colors. Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping by going to ridge.com/script. Folks, that's ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT in the description, and make sure you guys tell me about your story when you get your very own Ridge wallet. ridge.com/script. There are two people on the Monday Night Raw roster that took to social media this week and made themselves look like complete idiots. One of them being Seth Rollins, that we'll talk about in a little bit. But on Monday, Alexa Bliss made herself look like a complete clown. Remember Doink the Clown? Alexa Bliss is the new Doink the Clown. But Doink actually knew how to play a heel. Alexa Bliss does not. Facts. Matt Osborne was a great Doink the Clown, by the way. Now, Alexa Bliss on Monday night, that god-awful Fatal 4-Way, which I don't know if you guys realized, sucked 25 minutes out of your life on Monday night. While Drew McIntyre and Cedric Alexander got 3 minutes, we had Finn Balor and Samoa Joe got 3 minutes, and the Battle Royal at the end of the show got 8 minutes. 3 matches like that, folks, 3 matches like that did not even equal the amount of time that worthless Fatal 4-Way got on Monday Night Raw. Carmella's a SmackDown superstar. She's on Raw challenging for a shot against Becky Lynch. Alexa Bliss was just challenging for the SmackDown title on Sunday night, just the night before. And here she is in a Fatal 4-Way, vying for an opportunity against the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. Where is the logic in all of that? That's not even blind Alexa Bliss hate. Where is the logic, folks? What has she done from Sunday till Monday to get an opportunity at both titles in a span of 24 hours? Do you see why I complain? Please get on the same page. So she goes to social media. Fans in, where was it? Long Island? Shit all over the match. Chants of this is boring, this is awful, and rightfully so. The match itself was garbage. And by the way, folks, Alexa Bliss, if she's so good, if she is so good at what she does, all I hear on social media is, oh, she's a great wrestler. She just doesn't need to show it because she's playing a heel, man. This is what I hear on social media. Folks, it doesn't matter if you are a heel, a babyface, an alien, a fucking caveman. I don't care what you classify yourself as. If you are a pro wrestler and you are good at what you do, and you're in the ring with Natalya Neidhart, who's probably one of the best female wrestlers on the roster, and you still can't produce, maybe you should reevaluate what you're doing. Alexa Bliss was in the ring with Natty and Naomi, 2 women who could actually work, and she couldn't have a good match. What does that mean, folks? Does that mean that Naomi and Natty are bad? Or does that mean that Alexa Bliss is just awful at what she does? Fans shit on this. I don't want to blame it completely on all 4 women, even though 99% of it was them. That 1 little percent, folks, has to do with the silliness of WWE doing 2 out of 3 falls matches and elimination matches just for the sake of not having any wrestling during the commercials. This is what killed the vibe in that arena in Long Island on Monday night. They took 2 commercial breaks after 1 elimination and then after the next elimination. 3 minutes the match had to stop in between the 25 minutes that was the totality of that match. They had to stop for 3 minutes and stop the action, which was a terrible match to begin with. Stop the action in the middle of the match for 6 minutes total because there can't be any wrestling during the commercial breaks. And what I was told from my source, and you know my source is legit, he came to me and told me, you know, I know you don't like Alexa Bliss, but what you seen on television was not even half as bad than what you didn't see during the commercial breaks. Folks, if the edict from Vince McMahon is showing you anything, it's showing you that it needs to die. I don't know how they did it back in the Attitude Era, but this was never the case. Seems like they forgot how to operate with logic, common sense, and for the fans. Nobody wants to be sitting in an arena with Alexa Bliss and fucking Carmella in the ring, and you have to stop the match for 3 minutes. Meanwhile, Ember Moon is getting less than 3 minutes on SmackDown Live. I don't understand it. So WWE completely killed that entire vibe because you have to stop the match for 6 minutes because you can't have wrestling during the commercials. Get rid of the edict. Anybody who thinks this is a right decision and makes sense for these shows is a blithering fool. It is absolutely killing not only the 2 out of 3 falls gimmick, but it's killing the overall flow of the shows. You are mainly concerning yourself with how to book yourselves out of a match only to come back to it instead of actually booking a good match. And what pains me is that NXT went with the 2 out of 3 falls for Gargano and Ciampa. Gargano and Cole. You see where my head is at with Ciampa wanting him to come back. Gargano and Cole at TakeOver Toronto. They went with 2 out of 3 falls, and that was probably the original plan, to do 2 out of 3 falls. Now they're probably asking themselves, we got a 2 out of 3 falls match, and everybody hates 2 out of 3 falls matches because Vince killed the gimmick. Now NXT had to add their own twist to it. They added a 2 out of 3 falls that kind of mixed in the 3 stages of hell concept, which is going to be absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You want one match to watch all weekend? That weekend, that's going to be it. Anyway, moving on. We'll talk about that eventually. Alexa Bliss, after that match, took to social media and said, disrespectful. She simply tweeted, just disrespectful, complaining about the Long Island audience and the Long Island crowd. The Fatal 4-Way Elimination match on Monday Night Raw seemed to go on forever, and it needed to be not even half that, 10 minutes max. As a result, the fans had some thoughts and opinions about the match, and they weren't afraid to share them, which, Long Island, I love you. You might be 3 hours away, but you're still in New York, and I still love you. Now, they've already felt the need to express themselves, and then obviously with Alexa Bliss going out on social media saying just disrespectful, she got shit on. And she felt the need to push back against the fans on social media that she believed were being disrespectful. But now, after that first tweet, she decided to elaborate on what she really meant. Despite being a heel, it's quite clear that Alexa Bliss is speaking as her real person in regards to this situation. She says this, and I quote, "Yes, we encourage reactions, cheering and booing and chants. We don't encourage people to be rude." End quote. Honey, listen to me. I don't know what you're doing to get ahead. None of my business. I can only assume that someone thinks you got nice assets and nice perky tits and blonde hair and a beautiful face and nice eyes, which may all be true, okay? I don't know what anybody in creative or upper management thinks of you. You are merely getting booked on your looks alone. I don't want to hear how Alexa Bliss is a good wrestler. 2 things to take notice of here, folks. Has Alexa Bliss had one match in her entire career that you could go back and watch over and over again and say, that's what's going to make her a legend? No! All these idiots on social media hang on, oh, she's got 5 title reigns. Listen, you clowns. The amount of title reigns that one has does not make a good wrestler. Okay? Now, Charlotte Flair has 9 women's championships. Does that mean she's going to be labeled as the greatest of all time? No! Because that means she lost the title 8 times. Give me a break. We don't need that type of stupidity in and around the community. Take that shit and grow a fucking brain. Alexa Bliss is not a good wrestler. I even tweeted at her, are you serious? The match was awful. You are an awful wrestler. You do not know how to wrestle. All because we gave you the proper opinion. And in this case, yes, it's an opinion, but it's an opinion that is right of what happened there. You have no business telling anybody that they were rude. You got 25 minutes to produce a shit match. Meanwhile, those other 3 matches that I mentioned before didn't even get anywhere close to the overall total minutes that match received. How is it logical that Cedric Alexander and Drew McIntyre got 3 minutes and these 4 idiots got 25 minutes? Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, 3 minutes, but you're okay with going 25 minutes and producing garbage. Alexa Bliss is an awful wrestler. Not one match that you can hang your hat on and go back to watching the WWE Network. And if she was such a great heel, shouldn't she be in position to make others look good and look better than her? Has she built up anybody that she's been in the ring with? The answer is no. The answer is no. And don't give me Nikki Cross, because Nikki Cross was just fine on her own until WWE seen absolutely nothing in her on the main roster and decided to do this lame storyline, which makes her look like even a bigger idiot than Alexa Bliss with this tweet. I don't understand, just disrespectful, so we can come to the show and let you know how we feel about you. This is not back in 1993, okay? This is not, an audience that's going to just willingly sit there and abide by what WWE is doing. The fans are smarter nowadays. The fans know what's going on. The fans are more in sync with the product than the WWE is with their own product. Just disrespectful. So let me paint the picture for you, folks. If Alexa Bliss is known to be having bad matches, which is a reality, it's a fact. If the fans know that Alexa Bliss is getting title shots based off of nothing, that to me is very similar to a baseball team who has their closer. Now, he's been struggling. He's been their closer. They don't want to pull him. It's going to take a lot for them to say, you know what, we're going to go in a different direction. We're going to put this guy in the closer role, and you're going to be middle relief. Maybe that's more suited for you. If they have closer A come out, and he's blown 4 games in a row, and closer A is in a position to either take his team to first place and end the season as division winners, or you slip back down into the wild card and your chances of going into the playoffs have dramatically decreased. Closer A comes out, blows 4 games in a row. That 5th game, that deciding game, he blows it. He blows 5 saves in a row, and his team now goes from first to wild card berth only, dramatically decreasing his chances to get into the World Series and the playoffs in general. And he walks off the field and he hangs his head in shame. Do you not expect the fans to shit on him for poor performance? Do you not expect the fans to get this bum out of here, put him in a different role and get somebody else to close these games so that we have a better chance of winning? You are that bad closer. You are the one who can't get the job done. Yet you pretend like you're the greatest thing in the entire sport. And you're not. And you're not. The fans treated you like that bad closer who blew 5 saves in a row. You are that bad closer. The fans have every right to let you know what they think of you. You blew it. You continually blow it. You're not good. You're not a good wrestler. You're not a good heel. Get over yourself. The PC exists for a reason. When people in NXT are light years ahead of you and where you are, you should look at yourself in the mirror and wonder, why are you even in this thing to begin with? Are you just there for the notoriety and the fame and the social media likes? You can post a picture of your face and get 30,000 likes from 30,000 clueless idiots. That's why you're in it. Alexa Bliss is someone who doesn't have passion about this business. She's there simply for a paycheck and for social media likes and Instagram likes. That's it. That's it. I picture her as being someone who doesn't give input on anything. She doesn't care to make anybody better. She doesn't care to make the division better. She's just there to just fulfill her own destiny, and she's there for her own political agenda. That's it. That's my rant on Alexa Bliss. And if you guys don't see that just by watching these shows, you're clueless. You're clueless. She is the epitome of awful when it comes to women's wrestling. And she could be the sweetest, nicest, kindest person outside of the Alexa Bliss character. I don't give a shit. I'm not talking about Lexi. I'm talking about what we see as far as a fan perspective. I'm not a fan. I'm an analyst. I'm a fan second. This is what I do. This is what I see. If you don't like that take, blow me. We have every right to fucking shit on you and what you do because you haven't shown us anything as far as getting better. And I wonder why the likes of Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae are sitting in NXT when they should be in the position that you're in. Now that match, why didn't Natalya receive a big SummerSlam match against Becky Lynch? Natalya ended up winning the match against Alexa Bliss and survived the awful Fatal 4-Way. Brad Shepard reported on the Oh You Didn't Know podcast that one of the driving reasons behind Natalya's sudden push towards SummerSlam is the fact that the big event shares a location with Natty's home country. So there you go. Lazy booking, folks. Lazy booking. Oh, SummerSlam is in Toronto. You know, instead of actually trying this week, we're just going to book a fatal four-way, and we're going to put Natalya, and we're going to have her win the match, and she's going to go one-on-one with Becky Lynch, and we're going to give Natty the title shot because it's in Canada, and I think the fans will really like that, and there's a lot of wood up in Canada, so I can't wait to get up there myself, man. That's exactly what happened, folks. We're giving out title shots because it correlates with the challenger being in her own country. Or does it have to do with the fact that there is nobody else? Imagine if Alexa Bliss won this match. How awful that would have been. Now, at least Natty can wrestle. But I'm not interested in Natalya. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch Natalya in any type of title match. But that doesn't mean Natalya is not a good wrestler. Now, Becky needs a heel to go up against. This is what Becky has been sorely missing. She misses Ronda Rousey like she misses her best friend. Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch are best friends. Without a good heel, you cannot have a good babyface. Without a good babyface, you cannot have a good heel. They complemented each other. This is why Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were beloved. This is why Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon was the greatest rivalry of all time. Because you had those two levels of babyface and heel that complemented each other so well. Ronda Rousey needed to take time off for whatever reasons, personal or whatever. She broke her hand, whatever. She is missing Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch. Natty is a fine fill-in. She can wrestle. Becky Lynch can wrestle when given the time to do so. Natty's going to bring a good match out of Becky. I just don't care about it. I'm not interested in seeing heel turn 976 for Natalya. I don't care. Now, the promo after the match was really good. It was very quick, to the point. Becky hit her spots. Natalya hit her spots. Natalya actually acts like a better bitch than she does a babyface. But I'm not interested in seeing Natalya turn heel. This is just something to get Becky by until Ronda Rousey comes back for October and Fox Sports. That's all this is. It's just a fill-in. It's a means to eventually Ronda Rousey. That's all it is. I'm not really interested. And again, it's WWE creatively being lazy. SummerSlam's in Toronto. We're going to book Natalya against Becky Lynch. There you go. Problem solved. Moving on to the next. The lack of effort in WWE is disappointing. There's no effort there. And I wish that they would try harder. Now, speaking of the silliness, Wrestling Observer Newsletter reports that, and the silliness, I mean, the fucking breaks in between these matches. The women's Fatal 4-Way on Monday had 2 commercial breaks, 6 minutes wasted with that crowd sitting there wondering what the hell was going on. People are picking up on it. End it. Kill it. Wrestling Observer Newsletter that WWE reports that WWE is making efforts backstage to change the silliness about how they go about keep doing run-in spots to cause a reset for commercial breaks. This means that the timing of the matches needs to be looked at more closely. Now, Meltzer says this, and I quote, they actually did, with the long women's match on Raw, have the first match on Raw since the new doctrine where they wrestled through a break. They did 2 breaks in that match, and the second break was silly, as when they were down to the last 2 women in the match, they literally stopped the match for 3 minutes to take a break. There's no wrestling on the planet that's going to go about booking a match in that way. I don't understand it. First of all, there doesn't need to be a 25-minute match on Monday Night Raw in the middle of the show. That's number 1. Number 2, the match should have went 10 minutes. You can go 10 minutes without a fucking commercial. Number 2, okay? The only time that type of time length should be given to a match is in the main event. And that week, this week, the main event didn't even get that. WWE, it's like they went dumb over the course of the last 15 to 20 years. What did you used to do back in the day? Why is there more commercials now than wrestling? Give me a break. How about this? Why don't you do a commercial? You do a commercial, you do the fucking ring introductions, you go to commercial, but right before the bell rings, then you come back, the match starts, you don't have to take a break during the commercial. Or you don't have to take a break during the match. Take a break during the commercial. God forbid. We'd be living in hell on earth if that's the case. You don't have to take a break during the match. commercial, right? After the last segment, you come back, you do the ring introductions. You see both of these guys' introductions, whoever's in the ring, tag team, singles match, whatever. Make the introductions. Right before the bell rings, you take a commercial break at the tail end of someone's intro and entrance. Come back, the bell rings, you go 10 minutes, and you got a good match on Monday Night Raw. Then you go to commercial. Why do you have to take a break in between the in-ring action? I don't get it. I don't know why or how he came up with this edict. This is the most ridiculous thing that ever... You primarily killed the 2 out of 3 falls gimmick to a point where you cannot see that gimmick on the main roster ever again. Not this year anyway, not next year, and not the year after that. Because it's still going to be lingering. Oh, remember the day and age where WWE did the 2 out of 3 falls matches, every match on Monday Night Raw, just for the sake of not having wrestling during the commercials? Yeah. End it. Hopefully, Paul Heyman says something as far as change for the show, and that is one of the things that he gets rid of completely. Awful. One thing that Paul Heyman did change is trying to inject youth into the show. WWE put a lot of trust in the Street Profits on Monday Night Raw this week, and last week, and the week before that, coming out of the Stomping Grounds pay-per-view. Mike Johnson said on PW Insider Elite Audio that the WWE actually let the Street Profits cut their backstage promo during Raw live. They wanted to capture the moment and let the Street Profits' energy shine on TV. That is exactly what happened. He says this, and I quote, "We had the Street Profits backstage, and they got all excited because they realized they were on camera. They did some kind of Flavor Flav hype man deal talking about Roman Reigns, The Undertaker, and Shane McMahon, and Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules. Roman's got to make it through Raw to get to Sunday. They were extremely entertaining. I was told they actually did the Street Profits stuff live. They didn't want to be canned. They wanted it to be electric and live in the moment, and that was a decision that was made." End quote. Yeah, but while you do this, you're letting the Street Profits' charisma shine through. Yes, but underneath that, they are your NXT Tag Team Champions. They are a great tag team. And I am sitting here kind of looking at the Street Profits, and I'm asking myself, is that all you guys got with these guys? Like, I don't understand why this couldn't wait. It's already being teased that they're going against the Undisputed Era at TakeOver Toronto. More than likely, they are going to lose those titles. You couldn't call them up. You couldn't wait another month to call them up. You need to call them up now. Are the Street Profits going to be the ideal change that you want on Monday Night Raw? How many new viewers are the Street Profits bringing in? How many more youthful viewers are the Street Profits bringing in? None. So from my perspective, you're taking them from NXT and you're absolutely wasting their talent on Raw by not utilizing them in the way that we want to see them. You bring a team like that to Raw, you better utilize Montez fucking Ford. You're making me hate the Street Profits. You're making me dislike the Street Profits. The more we see this, the more I'm not going to be on the Street Profits side. And that's a sad thing to say. Now, when they're in NXT, they're subdued. That charisma shines through. They're legit. We actually get to see the full package of the Street Profits. You're only seeing not even 20% of what the Street Profits do. So sucks to be you if you're not watching NXT. So, from what I see, the only thing that I perceive is the WWE is using Street Profits in the way that they see them best. And that's false. That is wrong. Because you got much more to the Street Profits than what you're currently seeing on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, it's great that they are now entrusted by WWE management to cut a live promo. But what are they? Are they hyping up the rest of the roster when you should be hyping them up? Come on. You got things ass backwards here. It's not the type of change that we need on Monday Night Raw. The Street Profits should be a part of your change on Raw in totality to get these guys in a position to let all of them shine instead of just their silliness and their charisma. Do better. Possible spoiler here for SummerSlam, and we're going to end with a bunch of Seth Rollins news here, folks. You're going to laugh. Possible spoiler for SummerSlam. Brian Alvarez explained during Wrestling Observer Live that WWE's plans for SummerSlam look to include Lesnar and Rollins in the final match of the evening. This is common knowledge. I don't expect anything less. The two reportedly will also get a much better opportunity to wrestle and show what they can do. He says, and I quote, "The Universal title match, the Lesnar versus Rollins match is going to close SummerSlam. It's going to headline the show. As far as I know, it's going to be the final match on the show for SummerSlam. They're not going to go in there and do a 5-minute match. They're going to go in there and they're going to really do a match this time. So if you're one of those people who is disappointed with the Mania match, well, you're going to get the real match coming up at SummerSlam, so that is a change. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what WWE does with this type of mentality. I love this, and I know for a fact they can't do the same thing they did at WrestleMania. This also is going to make Seth Rollins look good, because Rollins has been booked like a bitch, and Rollins with Lesnar has been booked just like everybody else. Low blow, take advantage of him when he's down, 4 minutes later, stomp, it's over. I don't want to see that. This is actually great for everybody, because a lot of people say, oh, Brock Lesnar can't wrestle. Bitch, you're watching the wrong Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is doing what he does because he knows he could get by with it and do minimal work. But when he's in there with somebody like an AJ Styles, a Daniel Bryan, and a guy like Finn Balor, and hopefully Seth Rollins here, all three of those other men, Balor, Styles, and Bryan, Punk is another one, Cena is another one. John Cena and Brock Lesnar had a great match at Extreme Rules several years ago when Brock Lesnar first came back to the WWE. Brock Lesnar is notorious for working great with the smaller guys. Seth Rollins is apparently the best wrestler on the planet. So if you're the best wrestler on the planet, I want to see you wrestle someone who could actually wrestle just as good as you. And I want that to be the case. If Rollins is so great, then I want to see him prove it against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, knowing that he can't do the same match he did at WrestleMania because it's going to be the same shit, they're going to go into this with a different plan of attack. I love this because it's going to bring out the Brock Lesnar that I love the most. The Brock Lesnar that's going to come to work and wrestle for 15 and 20 minutes. That's great. I don't know what the end result is going to be, but I just want to see a damn good wrestling match. I want to see a main event that is absolutely 100% worthy of being in the main event. We have not had that since Rollins won the title. So get that title to where it needs to be and give me a main event match that is worthy of calling it a main event. This is good for everybody. It's good for Lesnar. It's good for Rollins. It's good for us. It's good for SummerSlam. SummerSlam does not need to end on a 4-minute snooze fest, typical garbage match like we've been given with Brock Lesnar. So I like this news, and that's the best possible outcome for that main event. Rollins needs to shut his mouth before he gets himself in deeper shit. The guy wants to be the face of the company. He's making himself look like the clown of the company. Now, we all know, I'm not sure if you guys know, not sure if you're aware that Rollins and Becky Lynch are a couple. Did you guys know that Becky Lynch has a boyfriend named Seth Rollins? Did you guys know that Seth Rollins has a girlfriend named Becky Lynch? Wow. Mind blown. I didn't know. You would never know. With the t-shirt out, the man's man. They should rename it the man's bitch, Seth Rollins. Now, the two have been dating since earlier this year, and WWE used their real-life relationship on television to be involved in a storyline, which made Seth Rollins look like a bitch. And it absolutely took any realism and momentum out of his title reign as Universal Champion. Now, during this time, a lot of people, a lot of podcasters, a lot of people on social media have stated that Rollins doesn't have any chemistry. And Becky doesn't have any chemistry with Rollins. And Rollins doesn't have any chemistry with Becky. So there's no chemistry at all in the relationship. So clearly they are in tune with all of these whispers and all of these idiots on social media and what they're saying. So he was actually interviewed, I don't know by who, but this is a quote from Rollins. During this time, some fans were noting that it doesn't seem like they have chemistry together, so he said this, and I quote, "It's great. We spend all of our time together anyway, so might as well add the on-screen stuff to it as well." No. That doesn't make it likable. That doesn't mean it makes sense. Your personal relationship should be behind closed doors. When you're on camera, I want you to be the champion that you say that you are. And you weren't. We spend all of our time together, so it might as well get added to the on-screen stuff as well. She's awesome. She's super talented. One of the first women to main event WrestleMania, beating Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. I don't know if you guys know that. Not sure if you guys are aware that Becky Lynch is the first woman to beat Ronda Rousey. I learned a lot from her being in the ring and watching her cut promos. She's very inspiring as far as that's concerned. Just from a performer's perspective, I get a lot out of being near her on screen and off screen. I get a lot of it as well, so it works out in both places. I think those critics might be a little jealous. I think there's a lot of what stems from the social media reaction. I think a lot of that stems from, and I mean, if I'm a dude and I'm watching television and I have a crush on Becky Lynch, I'm probably not going to be fond of the guy who's dating her either, so I get that. We have such great chemistry, I think it's funny that people think we don't. Either way, it amuses me. End quote. Folks, if you are one of these people who he's talking about, I think you need to reevaluate your life. You seriously need to go out and find a hobby. Why would anyone be jealous of Seth Rollins because he's dating Becky Lynch? Now, if Seth Rollins was dating Toni Storm, that's a different scenario. I would be, oh man, that's a lucky motherfucker right there. You know? I am not jealous of anyone who is married or dating a WWE female performer. I'm not. It's not my business to be. All I want is for Rollins to man up and say, yeah, this shit sucks. The reason why people are saying that you have no chemistry together is because the storyline that you were given with Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin was fucking terrible. It was awful. That's the only reason why people are saying you don't have any chemistry with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has not been in anything important since Ronda Rousey, and you have had a miserable title reign. Because WWE thinks that they can take this TMZ-like garbage and put it on their TV screens and really captivate a younger audience who are into that type of thing. That's the only reason why they did it. And here you are defending it, and here you are shitting on the people who might be into you by saying that they are jealous because they want to see you successful on your own as a champion. No, but we're jealous because you're dating Becky Lynch. You're fucking Becky Lynch. Right? How skewed is this guy's logic? How skewed is his brain by saying something that fucking stupid? I'm jealous of Seth Rollins because he's dating Becky Lynch? All I want is a good product, man. I don't give a fuck who you're sleeping around with. I don't care how many dick pics you got floating around out there. I want good television. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins together on screen in a feud with Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin is not good television. That is what we're trying to get across to you. No, but we're jealous. Fuck out of here. What a loser. Rollins has lost major points with me. And if that wasn't bad enough, look at this. He spoke to Yahoo Sports. Seth Rollins compared WWE to another franchise that people generally hate, if they're not passionate fans, the New York Yankees. They're the top dog in baseball in the American League East. And much like the New England Patriots as well, some people just outright hate them. But I don't think Seth Rollins really gave a good explanation to why people hate the Patriots and hate the Yankees. He says, and I quote, "We're the New York Yankees. It's easy to hate us. It's easy to hate the Yankees. It's easy to hate the Patriots. We are those teams. We are the dynasty. It's easy to hate us, but we're still the most popular company in the world at what we do. We're so far beyond a wrestling company that it's very easy to point the finger and hate on us. That's the cool thing to do. It makes perfect sense to me. It's how it's always been in sports and in entertainment. You always hate the big guy. It's fine. I'm not upset about it at all. I just want people to understand and appreciate the things that we go through and the fact that we're always trying to do our best. Nobody is taking it easy. Nobody is just getting by. Everybody from top to bottom, every department in the entire company is putting in so much work as they possibly can make this the best. Let me vomit." Folks, I don't know how anybody could sit here and realistically digest what this guy is saying and agree with it. The Yankees are hated because they went out and bought especially when I was in high school, they were known as the George Steinbrenner fucking, I just hate everything that they do machine. George Steinbrenner threw money around because they didn't have a farm system. George Steinbrenner blew money on every top-name free agent to do what he wanted to do before he croaked. He wanted to win as many world championships and make as much money as possible with the team that he assembled on the field. But they were winners. The Yankees spent money, and they were winners. Every single year you looked at the Yankees, they were a division winner, a World Series winner in the World Series. The Yankees are a known dynasty, and I might not be a Yankee fan, but they are winners. The New England Patriots are winners. They are hated because they are good at what they do. The WWE is hated because they are not good. You spent all this money and you still fail to produce quality television. So where the fuck is he in his mind to say the people hate us? The reason why people hate us is because we are the dynasty. No, we hate you, and we don't hate the in-ring performers. We hate the people behind what happens on TV. He says this: I just want people to understand and appreciate that we go through things and the fact that we're always trying to do our best. Yes, you are. We understand that. Nobody is taking it easy. Nobody is just getting by. Yes, they are. They are getting by. They don't care. They want to put on whatever they want to put on TV just to simply get by for 3 hours on Monday and 2 hours on Tuesday, and they don't want to get better. The only reason why we're seeing any sort of direction from what we've been seeing is because of All Elite Wrestling. Everybody from the top to the bottom, every department in the entire company is putting in so much work as they possibly can to make this the best. No, they're not. They're making it the best now because you have someone coming into your front lawn and taking a nice steaming dump. AEW is that dog that's taking a nice steaming dump on your front lawn. Give me a break. We hate the Yankees because why? Because they're winners. It's easy to hate a winner. It's easy to hate the Patriots. They're a winner. The WWE is not a winner. We hate the WWE because, well, I don't know, Rollins. Maybe you should look at the fucking fan base and see how the company that you work for shits on the fan base. The WWE doesn't appreciate the fan base. They alienate their fan base. They don't put the fans first. Why do we hate the WWE? Because the WWE hates us. They are not for the people. At least the Yankees, at least Steinbrenner, at least Bill Belichick. They put a team on the fucking field that actually are winners. They give a shit about winning. The WWE's got all the fucking tools to be Yankees or Patriots, and they don't care. They don't care. Their mentality is, let me take, so they don't go somewhere else, and we're just going to give the fans what they don't want, because fuck them. Rollins made himself like a blithering idiot in both of these interviews. I'm jealous of Rollins because he's dating Becky Lynch, and the Yankees are now being compared to the WWE. The WWE is the New York Yankees of wrestling. Well, let me tell you something, man. There hasn't been a Boston Red Sox in many years. WCW was that Boston Red Sox. Now you got a new Red Sox coming up on you, and it's in the form of Cody, the Bucks, and Kenny Omega. All Elite Wrestling. So let me see you continue to be a dynasty. One slip, one fall, they'll be ready to take you down and give the fans what you couldn't give them. Logic, common sense, pro wrestling the way it's meant to be. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much. If you enjoyed this podcast, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up. If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button. Down below, you're going to see the subscribe button. Click it. While you're at it, turn on the bell. Turn on all of those notifications. Make sure you guys are updated on everything that goes live on the channel. Follow me on social media, man, at JD206, both on Twitter and Instagram. Patreon.com/JD206. Harrys.com/script for your $13 value trial set. Ridge.com/script. Code Ridge, or code script rather, at checkout for 10% off. And make sure you guys check out Off the Script from Friday. Go check that out live on the channel right now. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, and NXT in full. All the full reviews of the shows this week live on the channel. as always. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. I will see you right back here on Sunday afternoon with more Off the Script. Until then, guys, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you right back here on another hot, humid, and sticky New York City Sunday afternoon. Take care, guys, and I'll see you Sunday afternoon.